Hi, good afternoon, and welcome to the third session of the Write Better workshop. As we've been discussing, learning how to expand your basic story ideas is an important component in taking writing from regular to extraordinary. Through these sessions, we've been focusing on 4 key specific areas that will help you learn to expand any fiction or narrative writing so you will feel confident you are writing the best you can. We began this story expansion in the first session by focusing on learning to describe character emotions, and then in the second session by focusing on setting. Today, we are going to talk about persuasion. My name is Marisa Adams, and I am the Director of Curriculum for Lumos Learning. I'll be serving as the host for our time today, and it's my pleasure to introduce our presenter for the day, Mr. George Smith, who works as a consultant with Lumos Learning. He is an editor and administrator and is the author of the Write Better book we will be referring to throughout each session. He has conducted these workshops at a number of schools, and we are so privileged to have him join us today. But before I pass this on to Mr. Smith, I do have a couple of housekeeping tasks to mention. During the presentation, all lines will be muted. This allows others the best opportunity to hear the presentation. However, we want active participation, so at times we will unmute the lines so all can offer responses to Mr. Smith's question. And at any point in the presentation, you can type a question into the chat or use the raise the hand feature. At the end of the presentation today, we will have some time for questions and answers. And Mr. Smith and I will answer as many questions as possible during that time. So at this point, please go ahead, Mr. Smith.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Adams, and hello, young authors, and welcome. This webinar is about persuasion, and what it will teach you is how to present effective written arguments, what we call arguments, to persuade the readers in your target audience to accept your point of view or your opinions, and also to take any actions that you recommend. There are a couple of purposes of why you would undertake persuasive writing. The first is to persuade your readers to agree with your point of view or your opinion. So you want to persuade them to agree with the point of view that you are raising and try to convince them to go along with you. There's also a second purpose, to motivate your readers to take any actions that you are recommending. Now, when you're writing something to persuade people, there may or may not be actions that you want them to take. But if there are, that could be one of the purposes, one of the 2 purposes of your persuasive writing. So now we know the purposes. I'd like to introduce you to the persuasive writing process. It begins with selecting a topic. Of course, you would have guessed that you have to pick a topic that you're going to write about to persuade people. So that is really the first step. And I don't know you all personally, so I had to kind of guess on a topic for this webinar that all of you might be interested in. Choosing a topic is very important, and you'll be most convincing and persuasive if you pick a topic that you feel strongly about. So I took a chance and I selected this one. And it is fictitious, but it can happen anywhere, really. Your school principal has proposed a policy that would not allow students to bring their cell phones, iPads, or tablets to school. He is looking for feedback. Well, together, we will figure out how to write a statement persuading your target audience, and we have to pick who that target audience is, to accept your point of view about this proposed policy. So in the writing process, we've already taken the first step. We've selected a topic. Does anyone want to guess, after you select the topic, what do you think we need to do next in the persuasive writing process? So anybody like to speak up and take a guess at what we should do after we select the topic?
And again, to do this, you can just hit the raise your hand feature and see if you have an answer for our next step in the process. Great. I'm going to go ahead and unmute your line, and you can share your answer.
Pre-write.
Thanks, next.
Pre-write.
Very good. Anybody else have any other ideas? How about you?
Drafting.
Drafting could be
Okay.
it. Let's see what Mr. Smith says.
Okay. I'm not sure I heard the very first person, Mrs. Adams. Did you hear the very first answer?
Not hear all of it, but I think they were pretty close on target.
Okay. I did hear drafting, which I think would mean the beginning of the writing process. Actually, that is...
I'm going to give one more chance to the first one since we didn't hear the answer.
Okay.
Go ahead and say
Pre-writing?
Pre-writing.
Okay.
Pretty close. Let's see what Mr. Smith says.
Yep. Yeah. These are good answers, and we will eventually get around to doing that, but not quite so fast. After you pick the topic, the very next thing you should do is decide who your target audience is. In other words, in this case, where the principal is asking for feedback, you could be writing to persuade your fellow students. You could be writing to teachers. You could be writing to your parents in order to get them to take some action. You could be writing directly to the principal, or you could be writing to the Board of Education. So after you pick your topic, you really have to pick your target audience. And I made a decision for you here. I'm going to pretend that you want to write to some of your fellow students to give them information to convince them to take some action along with you. So I could have picked the parents or the principal or the teachers or someone else, but I just took a guess, and I'm going to pretend that we're going to be writing to your fellow students. So this is the very next step. Before you can begin to write, after you select your topic, you have to decide who your audience is. Okay, now we're still not ready to write yet. There's going to be another step that we take. Does anybody want to try to guess what you do after you pick your topic, you pick your audience? What do you think you have to do next before you start to write? Anybody want to take a guess?
And remember, you can think about what our topic is. Our topic is that the principal has decided you cannot bring your iPads and your iPhones or any other smartphone devices to school. So you have to decide what so you've been given your topic, now you have your audience, now you need to decide what you think is next. Okay, how about you?
You have to decide what your paragraphs will be about.
Maybe what your paragraphs will be about. Does anybody else have any other ideas? Okay, Mr. Smith?
Okay. Yes, I'm going to call it content, what the content's going to be. And you're absolutely right. But what I was going to say that within that content, you need to decide what position you're going to take. Are you going to be positive about this topic and want to persuade others to accept it and support it? Or are you opposed to the topic and you want to persuade others to reject it and oppose it? Or in some cases, you may want to present both sides of it and not persuade somebody either way, let them decide for themselves. So I made another guess here, and I decided that we are going to be opposed to the policy. In other words, we do not agree that students should not be able to bring their cell phones, iPads, and tablets to school. We feel that they should be able to. So your answer about content was correct, but within that content, I think you need to decide, even before you start to write, what is your position going to be. So in this fictitious topic and audience, we're going to be opposed to this policy. So the 3 steps that you've just taken make up what I call the persuasive writing process. And we've given you a little acronym to help you remember what these steps are. The acronym is TAP, T-A-P, like you touch something, you tap something. And the T is for topic. You can see it on your screen. The A is for audience, and the P is for position. So these are the 3 pieces of the persuasive writing process that you would go through. Now we're actually getting to what a couple of you said earlier, the actual pre-writing or writing process. So next I'm going to show you a format that you can use to organize the content of your persuasive piece of writing. So now that you're ready to write, let's decide what we're going to call the different parts of your content. It's almost like chapters. So does anybody want to guess what the first chapter might be called in your persuasive writing piece?
And I can give you a hint for this one. Pretty much every type of writing that you have is always going to start with this type of paragraph. Oh, let's see. I think we might have an answer here. What do you think?
The beginning or like the setting part of the story?
Very close. The beginning or the setting was the answer that they were given. And that you always have to for the beginning. What else do you think the beginning is called?
What the topic's about?
Okay, let's keep going. Anyone else?
Okay.
Okay. Well, the beginning is another word. I have another word for that. I call it the introduction.